What is up, my fellow anti-netters, and also hello to you too, my fellow frickin' freebie-seeking YouTuber shitweasels. Hello. I want to share something with you. I've been heads down for the past few hours and been writing by hand, unplugging. Here are my quote-unquote my what Mont Blanc calls my writing instruments. And anyways, here's what I've been up to. Here's the landscape. Okay, so what I want to show you is basically I've been writing out on my Antinet cards what is called the impeccable origin story. And this is an insane framework. It's like the steroids version of an origin story or a hero's journey writing framework that serves to indoctrinate people who enter your world and want to know what you're up to. So, for instance, this whole framework, I have it written out right here. It's a 27-point framework for taking people through an insane hero's journey, of which showing them how you've discovered a product, okay? And I outlined that in issues number 8, 9, 10, and 11 of the Scott Shepherd letter. It's probably going to become a book soon at some point. And actually this framework, this 27-point writing framework, actually is what crafted in chapter 1 of the Antinet Zettelkasten. If you read chapter 1, that follows this impeccable origin story framework. Okay, so anyways, I'm working on a new one for my forthcoming book, for an upcoming book, and I have several books coming out, but the main one I'm working on right now is for this book. Okay, and so how I've done this is each section I've just kind of by preference I color code it. Like here's the first part of the first 27 step framework, okay, like in this orange, and then it goes to yellow and all that. Okay, that's not the interesting part. What's the interesting part, and that I want to show you and teach you, has to do with a few things. Okay, so here's where I left off today. I think I left off in the red area. So this part of the hero's journey talks about re-encountering the mentor. So kind of like in Star Wars, Luke Skywalker initially encounters Obi-Wan Kenobi and he rejects him, and then he encounters, that basically his villain, like the stormtroopers who basically slaughter his aunt and uncle. And then he, basically makes his way back to Obi-Wan Kenobi, a re-encounter with the mentor, and then accepts the new challenge, the new way. So anyways, that's what this section entails, and that's what it's about, okay? So I just want to show you something. So I was going through this today and rereading this because I'm going to continue evolving this and working on this. And you can see the numbering scheme. It's like 5250A. And this is actually a unique thing. A lot of people get hung up on the whole top level category thing, which Niklas Luhmann did. They're like, what if I have 5250 and then I have 5251? Like, what happens if I want to put it like between? It's like you can actually apply the alpha addresses to your top level branches. So I have 5250A because I want to put this between in my box over there, my Antinet 5250, 5251. This goes in between. So anyways, that's one thing I want to show you. So anyways, I'm reading through this today and I noticed something that I wanted to improve upon, okay? As you can see, so what I got to was this part, and it talks about this is why this model is so powerful, and this is what Russell meant by funnel, okay? And then what I did is I wanted to insert something right here, so I crossed this out, and so where I'm at is 5250A/3/10/4, and I wanted to insert something new, so I created basically this card today, and so it's 5250A/3/10/4A. And then it goes to 5. So this is kind of like a way to, basically, it's almost like, imagine back in the day, before Microsoft Word, how did you insert stuff between paragraphs? Okay, that's what I just did, and I wrote this today. So I wrote, like, in actuality, you don't need to make money with your first product, your front-end product. Okay, so this is like a marketing-based lesson. Okay, so I inserted this card. Okay, that's one thing. The other thing, small note, is you'll note I always do my references. This is a footnote right here, this red, to a book, okay? And this book, that's B.Sultanic 40. That is basically, B means a bib card, you know, and then I go and look up the bib card to find all the other bibliography information, and then comma, the page number, like page 40 on that page. So that's what that is. Um, Anyways, I want to keep going and show you another cool thing. And then I'm going to show you how Niklas Luhmann himself did it. So I'm going through. Okay, yeah, here's what I'm talking about. Okay, so this card right here, I was rereading it. Okay, and then I noticed I'm like, oh shoot, I want to put something right here, right after this sentence. Okay, so the Bluetooth device business had helped people find lost items like Apple, kind of like Apple AirTags. Therefore, what I did was, so I wanted to insert something in between. So in Microsoft Word, you would just like, you know, put it right in between. But with this, what I did is I put one in green. So, of course, you have to have a badass pen, you know, Beatles Edition Mont Blanc pen with green ink, right? So I wrote one, and then down in the footnote area, this says 5250A/3/12/2A. As you can see right now, where I'm at is 12/2. So right after I've inserted this card, and this is, you know, one sentence. The user experience wasn't great. So what this tells me is I'm going to, when I write this out in digital, I'm going to insert this sentence right here, right there. Okay, it's really freaking easy. And believe it or not, this is where I'm going to show you. This is the last lesson I want to show you. This is what Niklas Luhmann himself did, except what he would do is he would just write A right there, okay? He wouldn't write 1. I like to explicitly spell out the entire card address. This is just my preference because you can also do, I've talked about this in my book, you could just put A there. A would mean that's a relative link, kind of like in programming. So it would be 2A, you know, just right there. But I like to make it super explicit. So I'm going to show you actually where Niklas Luhmann himself, I'm going to pull this up. In the online archive we have, we can actually find Niklas Luhmann himself doing this, okay? So if you can see this, I'm going to zoom in right here, is we have one of his cards, okay? And I'm just going to click in to show you this in big view. You see this card right here, okay? Well, right here, I don't know if you can see that, right there, he has, you know, just basically that drawn in, okay? So that's a number 2 right there, okay? What that signals to him is, actually I'll go back, is this 213A1P5, he's referencing it to 2, so comma 2. So down here, if you can see, we have his other cards, and he's referencing this one. He also, in red pen, does something right here is, you can see that R, okay? What does that R mean? That means that, you know, he's talking about these other, basically, these other card links right here. That R just means see the reverse side. So actually up here in this little archive tool, you can actually click the back, which some cards have it, some cards don't, and you can see the reverse side, which actually spells out another thing that Zonke Arens got wrong in his book, How to Take Smart Notes. Zonke said, you know, he never wrote on the back of cards. I swear to God, if you just actually go through it, you can find, like, I would say about at least 20% of the cards, you know, Luhmann wrote. Like this one doesn't have a card on the back. There's no R right there, you see? Okay, let's keep navigating. Okay, this one does. Look at that. You see that right there? So if we go and look at the back of that card, look. God, why does there have to be, look at this, frickin' A. Look at that frickin' ambulance driving by, or the fire truck, while I'm filming. How selfish is that? Person frickin' catching on fire right when I'm trying to film and teach people frickin' analog knowledge, revolutionary stuff. That's absolute horse shit. Anyway, here's the reverse of that card. Is, as you can see, you know, he has other links, and I don't speak pidgin broken, poor handwriting German, but you know, it links to other things. So I have no idea what the living hell that says right there. But you can see that that's on the reverse side of the card. So anyways, as you can see, this is how this stuff works. And, you know, I'm just going through this and writing the book itself. It's just like the best way to actually slow down, write by hand, retain stuff, and go deeper on stuff. So anyways, that's what I want to show you today. Hopefully that helps you out and gives you a real life glimpse into analog knowledge development, AKD, which is far greater and shits all over PKM and the digital bubble graph obsidian boys. So peace and love. Get my book below if you haven't already, you freebie-seeking shitweasel. But most importantly, always remember to stay crispy, my friend. Peace.